All right, everyone. So this was the April 16th episode of WWE Friday Night Smackdown. This was the post Smackdown after WrestleMania. And before I get into it, I obviously have to talk about the new commentator that will be replacing Corey Graves from now on. And that man is none other than the GOAT himself, probably the greatest celebrity wrestler of all time, unless you think Bad Bunny is, Pat McAfee. I thought Pat McAfee was actually pretty good tonight on SmackDown. I really had no problems with him. Hopefully, as Pat McAfee moves on, Vince just let him be himself, because I think that's one of the main problems with commentators is that Vince is screaming in their ear 24/7 that they can't really be themselves. Because I feel like Michael Cole would be much better as a commentator if Vince wasn't in his ear 24/7. Anyways, we kicked off the ring with the tribal. Well, we kicked off the night with the tribal chief, the Universal Champion, the head of the table, Roman Reigns. He comes out with Paul Heyman and Jey Uso, and he just talks about how he did it, about how he wrecked everyone and leave. He walked in and he walked out. He said what he was going to do. He talked about how he stacked a future Hall of Famer in Daniel Bryan and a Hall of Famer in Edge. And Roman was just talking about how if he can beat two damn near Hall of Famers, then really, like, who can he not beat? And this is where Cesaro comes out. Cesaro and him have a stare down, not really nothing. Yeah, that was really it. Cesaro looks into the eyes of Reigns, and then we go to commercial. And then once we go back from commercial, Cesaro was just like, give me a match with Roman Reigns. And he basically wants to face Reigns next for the Universal Championship. So the first match of the night was Otis versus Rey Mysterio. Now, from a match standpoint, this was, to be quite honest with you, it was kind of boring, to be quite honest with you. This episode actually was an okay episode. It wasn't a bad show, but it wasn't like a A+ awesome show. It was an okay show from my point of view. But Rey Mysterio did get the win here, which kind of makes sense. Well, it really doesn't, because Otis has been like beating Rey every single week on SmackDown, and all of a sudden Rey gets a win here. So I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe they just want to get Rey some wins. I don't know. But, it is what it is. So Paul Heyman and Caleb Braxton are talking backstage, and basically Heyman is like, you're not getting Roman Reigns tonight, Cesaro. You're going on with the main event, the right-hand man, Jey Uso. And obviously everyone's like pissed off about that. Oh, and also I read this thing on an article saying that how Jey Uso's brought down Roman Reigns, which I guess the argument could be made that, Jey Uso has been helping Roman Reigns in all his fights. Like, ever since Roman Reigns has been a heel, it's like he needs, like, someone to help him win his matches. But at the same time, it's bringing Jey Uso up, because Jimmy Uso, well, he's making his way back, but he's still out. So what's there for Jey Uso to do? Him being with Roman was one of the best decisions they could make for Jey Uso. So we get a next match with Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. This was okay for what it was worth. Kevin Owens did win by countout. Most likely they'll probably have one more match at WrestleMania Backlash. And speaking of that, why would you call your pay-per-view WrestleMania Backlash? Like, that doesn't make no sense to me. Like, come on now. Like, really? Like, it kind of brings down the meaning of WrestleMania a little bit. Like, you never in the history have you called Backlash WrestleMania. Why can't you just call it Backlash? Can someone please explain to me the meaning behind WrestleMania Backlash? I don't know. So we get Apollo Crews with Commander Aziz, which makes no sense because that's Dabo Katoa, whatever his last name is, but Commander, whatever his name. Crews just gloats about his title win, talking about how he would give a Big E a rematch clause, but obviously he's not here. We do get another in-ring segment, a pretty good in-ring segment with the Street Profits and Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair just talking about how historical her title reign was. She gives credit to Sasha Banks. but she hypes up the Street Profits and's like, hey, yo, like, give me, you guys got to win those tag team titles back. And speaking of Sasha, you get an in-ring promo with Sasha, backstage with Kayla Braxton, and then Bayley comes up and like, give me a title shot. So it looks like they'll probably go with Bayley and Bianca Belair next. But the SmackDown tag team titles are defended. The Street Profits versus Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler. I don't know why. Like, honestly, this could have been the perfect opportunity to have the Street Profits win, in my opinion. This was a really great tag team match, actually. And you didn't have the Street Profits win. And the reason why I feel like it would have made sense to have the Street Profits win, because it would have been a cooler, wholesome moment, because Bianca Belair, you know, is champion, and they could all been champions together. But also because Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler haven't done shit as tag team champions. They have had a shitty reign. They haven't done jack shit. I mean, the only good thing about the feud is that they're actually champions, but you can't take them seriously as champs. The WWE has made it so hard for you. Like, I can't take Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode seriously. I never took him seriously as a tag team. All right, but this was a great tag team match. Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler get the win. All right, so we get the next match. Natalya versus Shayna Baszler. Boring. I didn't care. This is probably going to lead to a match at WrestleMania Backlash, which probably Natalya and Tamina will win, so it is what it is. But as this match tonight, I thought this was boring. I didn't care for this match. The main event, Jey Uso versus Cesaro. Now, this was a pretty good main event match. Towards the end, Rollins came in, so he was attacking Cesaro, so it looks like that they're obviously not done with the Cesaro and Seth Rollins feud. They might have a match next week, and who knows, after that, Cesaro will probably face Reigns at WrestleMania Backlash, and if not, Money in the Bank. But it'll probably be WrestleMania Backlash. Yes, this was a pretty okay episode of WWE Smackdown. This has been the Kid DC Wrestling, and subscribe to the channel. And so yeah.